At the edge of ancient Alexandria, the sea hides what earthquakes erased.
Divers descend toward a submerged district, once sacred to the city. These columns date to the Ptolemaic era, carved for temples now lost.
Earthquakes and rising seas dragged entire sanctuaries underwater. Religious imagery still survives beneath centuries of sediment.
Statues once worshipped now rest scattered across the seabed.
Pedestals mark where gods once stood above the city.
The layout reveals a planned temple complex, not random ruins.
Altars like this were used for daily offerings and rituals.
This sunken temple district has remained untouched for nearly 2,000 years.
The site remains unchanged, preserved by depth and time.
Stone steps hint at entrances once used by temple priests.
Protective figures like this guarded sacred spaces.
Greek inscriptions confirm Alexandria's mixed cultural history.
Entire roofs collapsed as the ground gave way.
This basin may have held ritual water.
Decorative stonework reveals the temple's former grandeur.
Mosaic floors once decorated ceremonial halls. Faces carved centuries ago still stare back from the seabed.
The drowned temples of Alexandria remain frozen beneath the sea.
Further exploration reveals how vast this sacred district once was.
These pathways once guided worshippers through temple grounds.
Fragments of obelisks hint at monumental structures above. Offerings were placed on tables like this during rituals.
Statues collapsed where they once stood.
Niches likely held religious icons or lamps.
Column alignment reveals careful architectural planning.
Traces of paint show these temples were once brightly colored.
Time and water have muted the colors, but not the history. The deeper the team moves, the older the structures appear.
This doorway once marked the boundary of a sacred chamber.
The statue depicts a deity worshipped in Ptolemaic Alexandria.
Such pits were likely used for offerings or sacred deposits. Colonnades once supported roofs over processional walkways.
Even thresholds were carefully decorated.
Altars fractured as the ground shifted during earthquakes.
This open space once gathered priests and worshippers.
Egyptian symbols blended with Greek design in these temples.
Beneath the sea, Alexandria's sacred heart still endures.
The ruins stretch farther than first expected.
This elevated platform may have supported a central shrine.
Broken limbs show how violently these statues fell. Symbolism here reflects Alexandria's blended faiths. Earthquakes fractured even the strongest walls.
Stone canopies once sheltered ritual spaces.
Drainage channels managed water during temple ceremonies.
These capitals once crowned towering columns.
Incense burners filled these temples with scent.
Every stone here tells a story lost to the sea.
The team moves toward the outer edge of the temple district.
Stone benches once lined gathering areas.
Dedications honored gods and patrons of the temples.
Basins like this were used for purification rituals.
Outer walls marked the boundary of sacred space.
Even massive columns could not withstand seismic collapse.
Priests may have rested here during ceremonies.
Corridors connected different temple chambers.
Torches once lit these passageways.
Beyond these walls, the city once thrived.
The ruins transition from sacred spaces to public structures.
This threshold separated the temples from the city beyond. Decorative reliefs continued even at the district's edge.
Markers like this guided movement through the complex.
Porticos once provided shaded walkways.
Maritime elements show how close the sea once was.
Statues here likely face toward the harbour.
This paved space once hosted gatherings and processions.
Alexandria's sacred and maritime worlds once met here.
Beyond the temples, the ancient harbour comes into view. These quay blocks formed the backbone of Alexandria's harbour.
Ships once tied off at posts like this.
Iron fittings reveal the harbour's heavy use.
Ramps allowed cargo to be moved between ships and shore.
Warehouses once stored goods from across the ancient world.
Shattered amphorae hint at lost cargo.
The basin once bustled with ships and merchants.
Markers guided vessels safely into port.
Together, these ruins reveal Alexandria's lost shoreline.
The harbour extends farther beneath the sea. Breakwaters once shielded the harbour from storms. Rows of bollards show organised docking areas.
Heavy chains secured ships to the quay.
Channels directed water flow within the harbour. Fragments like this may relate to Alexandria's famed lighthouse. Stone anchor components were common in ancient harbours. Much of the harbour floor remains unexplored.
Inscriptions once marked ownership and dock assignments.
Alexandria's harbour lies silent beneath the waves.
The exploration reaches the farthest known edge of the ruins.
This marker may have signaled the harbour boundary. Cargo losses accumulated over centuries of trade.
Grooved stones helped guide hauled cargo.
Earthquakes shattered the harbour in moments. Even isolated pieces tell the story of collapse. This vantage point once overlooked a living port.
Sacred and commercial spaces merged along this shoreline.
Older traditions endured alongside Greek influence. Beneath the sea, Alexandria's lost world remains perfectly still.